Evening, goeienaand. Welcome to the RAEL Live Recovery Stories. Today's been a good day, another day that we are sober. And as we wait for people to join, I can tell you that my dogs are all lying comfortably. 3, 4, 5, 6 dogs. Those are the ones with 4 legs. And yeah, good day, man. A good day. A lot of good wishes from people, and obviously that's what the meeting is all about tonight. Yeah, hello, Gladwin. I was going to take up some time here. Hello, Andrew, Sharon, and Andrew again. Okay, hardcore. Conchita. I don't know how to pronounce that right. That's why every night when I see it, I don't say hello to you, because I don't know how to pronounce your name right. Okay, Clutch is there. Hello, Vanessa. Your son's doing very well. Hello, Michelle. I'm Maverick's Queen. Your son is doing very well. Carl Olafie. Okay, he's doing all right. Hello, Jackie. How are you? Elmo Ora is going to share on Saturday night, if that's okay with him. Hi, Lee my bestie. Craig, good evening to you, sir. Okay, Michelle. Michelle Mavericks is opening next Thursday, so you can get ready, girl. Hi, Hildegard, my ex-boss's wife. And yeah, so like I said, it's been a good day. It's been a day that hi, Colleen, that we've accomplished. We accomplished a lot. The guys are still at the Animal Welfare Center giving help to kennels and painting and putting up fences, and thanks, Connie, putting up fences and really doing well there. We've got Ola, our mom's nurse. She's doing so well. She's really, it's so nice to see someone like Ola and Angus looking after my mom and being so beautiful towards her. That it just makes me happy that my mother is happy. Obviously, tragically, the 11 old people that died in Huis Ebenezer, it's an old age home in Stellenbosch over the last 2 days. Our prayers and our thoughts are with the families, with all the families. Hello, Cindy. Letitia, hello. And it's very sad that they passed away without their loved ones near them. It's actually tragic. And we just pray that this pandemic and epidemic, or whatever we want to call it, can come to an end now. So they say life will not get back to normal. Hi, Barbie. Life will not get back to normal, but it will, man. We have to have that belief. If we believe in God, we don't have to be saints, or that we never do anything wrong and we don't sin, because we do. But at the end of the day, God knows our heart, and He knows that we want to live a life that is good and serve Him. Maybe sometimes we lose it along the way, but we come back to Him. That we have these meetings. Hello, Louis Ulafir. Hi, how's it? One day we can have a beautiful party here on the farm, and all of us can get together, and we can have fun. We can have fun with each other, because we enjoy having fun. I made a video just before we went on air now about the mental illnesses, which is getting worse in this lockdown. The suicides are increasing. We just seem to get the calls because we deal with the people. Hello, Leslie, Diane. And the relapsing is from people all around the world. The relapse rate is massive. I belong to a lot of groups all around the world. Hearing about it, it's tragic. The people are not with the depression, people taking away the cigarettes, with people who are very depressed. Hello, Helene. They depend on those cigarettes, for a bit of comfort. So I don't think everything has been taken into consideration when it comes as far as our people. I really don't. But anyway, let's get on with tonight. And tonight is obviously a very big night in big night for the members. We just had the meeting tonight, and we sat there and we spoke about our day, etc. Hello, Dr. DeToy. She's Michelle's partner at Mavericks. So if you ever want to go there, please go there. She supplies the red wine. And that's the way we roll here. Hi, Maureen. Remember, we're not saints. And, we just finished the meeting, and Graham was sitting on his couch where he normally sits. Hello, Mahali. How are you? God bless you. Conrad again. And I looked at him and I thought to myself, 5 years ago today, Graham walked into this house. Graham walked in. I'm not going to tell his story, and neither is he. I think he's going to tell us a bit of fun stories tonight. Graham walked in here, and funny, how's it? And he walked in with a toothbrush and one or two pairs of clothes or sets of clothes, you can't say it. And today, celebrating 5 years, it's just something. Graham is the most humblest man I've ever met. And I've met the most humble. Now, if you believe that's just coming out my mouth, then you're going to believe anything. He's just his own man. Graham is just his own man, doesn't like to smile. He smiles now and then. And walking this road with Graham for 5 years, myself and Kurt Schuler and Angus and AD. We've walked a long road with this man. And so is Richard. How is it, Richard, my brother? How are you? Richie, don't worry when other places open up. You know what? We're going to Port Elizabeth again, my brother. We're coming to pick you up. And looking at this man today and thinking, well, 5 years, what has he achieved? Huh? What has he achieved? He got his dignity back. He came from the streets. And I never forget that his dad, after about 3 years, gave me something in the middle of the dining hall we got here. And I said to him, no, Butch, I can't take this. And he said, no, but you can take it. He says, what do you give a man who has saved my son's life? Hi, Maureen. And I said, I didn't save your son's life. I was just the servant used by God to help save his life. It's an incredible achievement. This is the second post 5 years achievement I have seen when it comes to the drug heroin in my entire career. The other one is Freddie Cars. And now Graham and Kurt Schuler will not be far behind. And I think people must take it into the fact that if you want recovery, you will get recovery. If you're going to enable, you will never get recovery. If you come even into the center under false pretenses, and I sponsor you and you know that you can pay, don't expect luck. Because it has to start with honesty. With honesty in all our affairs, and practice these principles in all our affairs. So just on behalf again of the RAEL organization, of myself, and everyone that has been involved in this young man's life, we congratulate him and we wish him well, and we pray that he goes from strength to strength and never gets complacent. Because if we get complacent, we're going back there. As he came from the streets, I came from the streets. So we came through the hard part of recovery. And by God's grace and mercy, we've made it. Let's not get any other reason, but by God's grace and mercy, we can sit here tonight. It's an absolute pleasure. I've taken this little boy as my son, like I do most of the youngsters here, but especially this young little arrogant bastard that came into RAEL. But I love him to bits. We fight all the time, but nicely fight. Love him to bits, and he's a pleasure to have around. He's just become well. He's got a little bubba. His life has changed in 5 years. I couldn't have changed his life in 5 years. Myself and Kurt couldn't have done it. It was Graham that had to do it and trust God to deliver him from it. Hi, Violet. So I'm going to introduce you to the man of the moment. Hopefully he'll give you a smile, because it's a bit bad for his image. because you asked Michelle for a date the other day, just so they can go out for a meal. I know Michelle's going to deny it because we have a lot of fun. I tell you, anyone here, excuse me, who would like to come one day to RAEL and see, once we put the recovery aside for an hour or so, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, we have a lot of fun, a lot of banter here, because that keeps us sane and it makes us want to come back and live that normal life. So Graeme asked Michelle he wants to take her for dinner, and Michelle said yes. So Graham's all excited. He's asked me to lend him some money to go buy a new outfit. You'll probably buy a PCAP, Kurt. Yeah. Kurt says you'll buy a PCAP and a Nike. Do they make Nike jeans? Yeah, you'll buy something. He'll wear something, and he's taking Michelle to the Five Flies, and I'm sure Michelle will come back to us and tell us how the date went. Okay, Graeme, it's all yours, my boy. I'm so proud of you tonight. I just want to celebrate. Just want to celebrate. But I don't need to celebrate with drugs or with alcohol. God bless you all, and our manager Kurt Schuller will be closing the meeting this evening. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Miss you all. See you soon on the west side. Thank you. Funny story.
No, I'm not going to. No. I'll give a cuck meeting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say thank you to everybody who supported me through this time. And I'm not going to actually give any funny stories tonight because I need to give a good message out. Because I take my recovery seriously, as much as sometimes I make it out like I don't, I actually do. And tonight is going to be about how I actually surrendered to the program, and how I actually, you could almost say, fell in love with the program before anything. And yeah, when it comes to times like this, I take things very seriously because my life's not a joke, man. And the people around me I don't treat as jokes. But one thing I can say is I've had a lot of fun in recovery. But like I say, a lot of people, they think they live one life. You only live one life, man, and how are you going to take that life? Are you going to take it as a joke, or are you going to take it? And there's a big balance to that. Because you also can't live a serious, sour life all your whole life. So, but tonight's a night of reflection for me, and I'm not any of your messages. I'm just going to speak so that I can spread this message that a lot of people are lacking today, man. A lot of people aren't getting to 5 years recovery because they're not the effort, and it's very simple, man. You lose that desire to drink and drug, and once you lose that desire to drink and drug, ever pick up a drink or a drug again. And that's my fundamentals of addiction recovery. Obviously you have to study the big book, and you have to do your 12 steps, etc. But that doesn't determine if you're going to stay sober or not at all. The only thing, in my personal opinion, the only thing that's going to keep you sober is if you lose the desire to drink and drug. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's proven with me, it's proven with Mr. Hall. I've lost the desire to drink and drug. And I joke, a lot of people know me on that are watching now. A lot of people know me in general. And they know that I can make a lot of jokes. But one thing is, I will never, ever, ever, touch wood, pick up a drink or drug again. And I say that with the utmost sincerity, and with the utmost humility. Because I know where I come from. And I know the reasons why I come from there. The reason I was put into those situations is because I used drugs. There is no other reason to the situation that I was put myself into. It's only because I used drugs and alcohol. I couldn't live a sober life in the first place because I fell deep into a trap where I didn't want to get out. Because I was enjoying it, man. Even though I was on the streets or scratching in bins or eating other rubbish bins, etc. The whole trip. Even though I was in that situation, I still tried to enjoy it. And if it wasn't for my cousin Nanette, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today. That's my personal opinion, because she 5 years ago put in the effort to contact Mr. Hall and to get me and my brother here. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. And she knows, I don't always tell her it, but she knows that I know that. And I appreciate the efforts that my family has put in, and everybody around me. But I'm going to start from the beginning, man. From my fundamental support of my family, my father, my mother, aunties, uncles, etc. I got a big family, a very big family that's very widespread. So I'm not going to congratulate or thank everybody now, because you all know who you are, man. And for the people who are jumping onto the bandwagon now because I'm doing well, you don't think that I don't see that. I'm not stupid, man. I see straight through you. Now that I'm doing well, when I was on the streets, man, did you come and pick me up a bit, man? Did you bring me food? No, you didn't. So don't think now that you can jump on my bandwagon, because it's not gonna work. I'll treat everybody with respect, but don't think for 1 second that I'm not fooled by your jumping on bandwagons, because I don't appreciate it, and I don't expect you to do that. Jump on your children's bandwagons, man, not on mine. And on that note, I came here 5 years ago and I was broken, man. I taught myself a way of living that isn't of this world. Isn't the manner of living of this world, should I say. You're not supposed to live like that. But that was the circumstances I was in, and that was just the way I looked at the world and how I survived. And if I look now at the person I am today, I'm still a very hard person. I don't take shit from anybody, and I don't expect anybody to take my shit. But that's just the type of person I am, man. And you can like me or not, I couldn't really care. To be quite honest with you, I got a beautiful family now. I got a beautiful girlfriend. I got a beautiful daughter. I got a beautiful support structure, especially here by RAEL, man. Especially with Mr. Hall being with me every day. Every day we together. There isn't a day that we're not. Obviously, if I'm not here, if I'm with my family, then I can't be with him. But 90% of the time we together, and yeah, it's easy for me to say, man. It's easy for me to say, yeah, I'm 5 years sober, and that I stayed in a rehab for 5 years. That's why I'm still sober. I've been in situations where I could have picked up drugs, where I've had drugs in my hand, man. Where I could have used drugs many of times, where I didn't have anybody telling me, hey, you can't do that, Graeme. There were people telling me, you must do that, Graeme. But it was my own personal decision not to do it, because I lost the desire to drink and drug. Now I can't look at somebody and think to myself, yeah, man, why is this still using drugs? Can't you see what I've accomplished from not using drugs? No, I can't do that. Because 5 years ago, I was looking at people that were long-term sober, and they were achieving things. And did I want to stop? No, I didn't. I had to knock my head over and over and over. I had to end up in prison. I had to end up on the streets. I had to end up with broken shoes. That's why you'll never. One of my biggest I can't get to the word now, man. But one of my biggest idol type things is wearing broken shoes. I never ever want to wear a broken shoe again. And that's why I spend 3,000-4,000, however much I want to spend on a pair of tackies, I'll spend on a pair of tackies. Because I'm not going to have broken shoes on my feet anymore. The day I wear broken shoes is the day I'm back on the streets using drugs, man. And that is why I am like that when it comes to shoes. Because I don't want to walk with broken shoes anymore. That was the most humiliating thing in my entire life, man. And I know it might sound weird, man, but to me it's just something that's gonna constantly remind me not to go back there, man. And I'm not going to go back there. And I know a lot of people didn't expect me to get this far. And I didn't expect me to get this far, honestly. I really didn't. I really honestly didn't, man. I still had reservations to use drugs. Don't think I came here a sweetheart. I didn't walk through these gates of RAEL being a sweetheart. No. I still had big reservations, like Grant did, and that's why Grant fucked out. Because he still had his reservations and he left after 6 months. And look at where he is, back at RAEL, man, but he's doing much better now, man, because he's actually listening for once. For once in his life, he's putting his pride in his pocket and he's listening. That's all we need to do, man. We just need to listen and lose that desire. It's not up to me for you to lose the desire. It's up to you to lose the desire. And I can say that with a smile on my face because today I'm set free, man. And he who is set free indeed. I lost that desire, man. That's all I can say tonight is lose that desire, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. Once you lose that desire, hey, the floodgates of heaven open up for you. Not financially, but spiritually, man. You actually see God, man. You see Him in your mind. You feel His presence all the time. All the time. And you know, if you're doing something wrong, that Holy Spirit hits you in your gut, man. And you feel very uncomfortable. And that's where the steps come in, man. Because some things you have to speak about to some. If you're doing something wrong, you can't keep that inside of you. You cannot. That's why there's a step 4 and a step 5 and the certain steps that you have to do to set yourself free. And me, if I do something wrong, even if let's use a stupid example, if I steal a chocolate out of a shop, me as an addict, I cannot keep that in. I have to tell somebody. I must go to Mr. Hall, or I must go to Kurt, or I must go to Carl, or whoever I trust. I must go to that person and I must tell them, listen here, I messed up today, but hey, it is what it is. I stole a chocolate out of a shop. You have to set yourself free, man. And some things that you think might not be affecting you are the things that are affecting you. And I told Mr. Hall, he knows everything about me, man. I've told him everything, man, because I was told that's what I have to do, because I listen. I had to get all that. Don't think I'm some innocent angel here. I was a terrorist. And those of you, nobody really knows me on this group, but I can tell you now, I'm not this type of person that you're listening to speaking here. I'm a total different type of person when I'm intoxicated on any substance. If it's alcohol or drugs, man, I'll make you believe I'm some nice guy. Meanwhile, I'm stealing the money out of your wallet. Stupid example again. But yeah, that just shows growth in me, man. And after 5 years, it's not that bad, Rihanna. It's not that bad, eh? You know what? Eating candy apples isn't that bad. Candy floss isn't that bad, man. A glass of wine isn't that bad. 5 years of sobriety in South Africa is fucking awesome. I know very little people, man, who have 5 years recovery. Okay, yeah, I stay in a rehab, but it's the choices, man. Like they always say, my thinking got me here, got me into RAEL. But you know what? My thinking has still got me here, and that's why I'm still sober. And yeah, I'm not going to speak much longer, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think my battery is to suffice. I got a S10 Plus, but I forgot to charge it.
That's humble.
Yeah, that's extremely humble. Thanks, Mom. I got a mother that enables me. Not that I ask her for anything, she just wants to enable me. And yeah, maybe it's rewards, man. Because I believe that we all need to get rewarded in some other way, man. If it's financially or whatever it is. Just hold on 1 minute. This is not about you. This is about me. Sorry. No, I'm just joking. Don't take what. Yeah, no. Mr. Hall has helped me tremendously, man. He's helped me in every way possible. I wouldn't be now if it wasn't for that man. And I didn't listen to anybody, man. If it was a high school principal, if it was my father, if it was my uncles, aunties, the pastor, I wouldn't listen to you, man, because my way was the right way. And I'm living my own life, and me smoking tick and smoking heroin and pulling a scafe and etc. It's my life, man, so I'm gonna do it. I'm not affecting anybody by smoking a pipe. Who am I affecting? Myself. But that's I can almost call it psychosis, man. That's a type of psychosis trip you get yourself into, that you believing now that you're not affecting anybody because you're smoking the drugs. Meanwhile, you're stealing from the people. You're not telling the people, you're not telling the closest people to you where you are. You just go missing for 3 months. And that was my modus operandi. I just used to gooi for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, where nobody will know where I am. I wouldn't even know where I am. and I will just hit the road and go do my own thing. But now, 5 years later, I learned that much earlier in recovery, that there is certain things that you have to do in order to reach 5 years. And I can guarantee you, I'll speak on this thing 5 years from now, and I'll be 10 years sober. Because I've lost the desire. So yeah, that's just my side of the story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna give it over to Kurt now. You know, it was a very special day for me. You know, a lot of reflection, a lot of looking back of where I come from. Even though you tend to forget where you come from, and you tend to forget that I walked through those gates not through the RAEL's gates, but I came into recovery with just a toothbrush. You tend to forget those types of things. But days like this that you get reminded, man, where you remind yourself that's where you come from, and that's where you're never gonna go back to. And you know what? Excuse me. Now that I'm on this, cigarettes are kake. Now that I'm on this, a lot of people walk with that Bible under their arms, preaching to the world. A lot of people walk with that big book under their arms, preaching to all the addicts. And they doing that to please somebody. I've seen a lot of it. A lot of it. Living in a rehab for 5 years, you see it all the time, man. But you know what's also nice about that is you see how they realize to themselves, man, that what they're doing is they're only conning themselves. They're falling into that trap again. And the sick part is they can't blame the drugs because they're sober. They got to look deep into yourselves. I mean, I walked into RAEL with I wouldn't say not with a mission to get sober, but with a mission to get my life in track, man. Get the key back to the door, so they say, so that I can live a productive life again, man. Get out of that pit I was in, but still smoke a bit of pot. You know what I mean? Like, that's totally alright. Still have a beer on weekends. You know, that's totally alright to do. And then you quickly realize that that's not alright to do. You can't live a life like that. But a lot of people don't realize that, and they think they can do that. Me, I'm too shit scared to test the theory, man, if I can still drink or if I can still smoke pot. Because those are gateway drugs, as they call them. I will never do it. Never. You know, I think it was about 3-4 years ago, I went for communion in a train just outside Robertson, I think. Yeah, in an Anglican church, in a train. And, excuse me. And we did Holy Communion there, and that was real wine. And that was the only bit of alcohol in 5 years I've had touch my lips. And that was because I did communion. And the only reason why it was real wine is because that's what the Anglicans do. They use wine. And it's not going to trigger me, man. I'm doing communion. So other than that, I haven't, my lips haven't touched any mind-altering substance at all. I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it, because I know where it's going to get me, and I'm going to get stuck in that vicious cycle, that snowball effect. I'm going to get stuck in it again, and I'm not going to get out this time, because I believe you only get one chance, man. You get that one chance in life to actually, you're either going to make it or break it, and this was my chance, man. And that's why I'm not going to mess it up, because after 10 years of drugging and 10 years of hell, not always bad times, man. Like, I don't regret it. I mean, I had a jaw. First few years of drinking and drugging and experiencing and experimenting and all those types of things, you enjoy it. That's why you do it. That's why you carry on doing it until you end up hooked on it. So my first few years, I enjoyed it, man. I mean, like I said the other night, I had drugs right through high school, from standard 6 right to matric. Being a it's not coronavirus. I just been smoking cock cigarettes today. But yeah, I was head boy, man. But yet I was drugging every single day. I mean, I wrote my matric finals high every day. So, and they say never, but I can, because I never did get caught on high school using drugs. Being head boy of my boarding school, etc., achieving things in life, all on drugs, man. Which actually means nothing at the moment, because I'm still the person I am today. If I did achieve those things or if I didn't, I'm still going to be this type of person. because this is fate, man. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pass it over to Kurt now. And if I can give you one bit of advice, is that there is hope for all of us, man. There is hope for Luandre and Andrews and everybody and Garth and whoever's watching this, man. For your parents also, man. For all the parents out there is hope for your child. They just have to lose the desire to drink and drug. Once they lose that desire, hey, the courts are open, yeah. There is no more net. They can run freely, yeah. And I say that with a big smile on my face, man, is because that's what happened to me. And like I said earlier on, I can't look down on the fellow addict. I must actually go down and sit with him and tell him how to get out of it. A lot of them don't listen. They need to feel it themselves. But I'm always willing to excuse me, to give my bit of advice, because I was also once there. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this message falls on fertile ground. All you need to do is water it. God bless you.
Okay, that was quite an entrance by me. But I think good evening all. I think it's always I think it's a reminder for myself when we don't talk really about the drug of choice, but there are different sort of percentages that make it according to which drugs we've been addicted to, and heroin is well, it's to some it's a very big word, and to others it's a big killer. And according to world statistics, the recovery rate from that is a lot less than most other addictions. And I think Graeme is, even a lesson to me. Even though I entered the gates of RAEL before Graeme, it's a classic example of, if you're willing to go to any, if you want what we've got and you're willing to go to any lengths to get it, I think that is the classic example of Graeme's story. Is that Graeme coming in here and actually an arrogant little boy at the time. I say little boy, not meaning young in age, but had experienced the streets, had experienced some bad living, but came from a lot of good living as well. And to see the way from the very beginning, the way Mr. Hall took him under his wing, and I mean in our lounge over here at RAEL, we used to have the dining table here. And the guys on the program's dining table was also inside here, and then we used to eat at the other table. And from the day he walked in here, I think that there was, I wouldn't say a special treatment or a special interest, certain liking that Mr. Hall took to Graeme, and maybe stretched his arm out even a little further than what he usually does to Graeme. And Graeme sat on a bunkie next to Mr. Hall, and never actually ever sat at the program dinner table. He was always, and that's why I say, is the classic example where even though I came through the gates of RAEL before Graeme, I also stopped listening before Graeme. That is why he's got longer sobriety than me. And as I say, what, people can say what they want to in especially in our country, South Africa. 5 years unbroken, solid sobriety from heroin addiction is just about unheard of. You know, and there's that's come through the doors. If I speak about heroin specifically, as I said, we don't really take into account what the drug of choice is, but we do take the world statistics sort of a little bit in, and the professionals and all of that, and the world statistics on the recovery rate from heroin. Sorry, I'm not smoking my usual brand. It's a bit drier than than the others. Yeah, it is, eh? But however, at least I got cigarettes to smoke. Used to smoke a lot of other things, which I'm grateful for that I don't smoke anymore. But you know, watching those parts of Graeme, and then after me myself having a fall during the time that Graeme was here. You know, he remained the inspiration that if he was getting it right somehow, I could also still get it right. And I watched him go from taking an interest. It could have even possibly started off that one of his little sort of personal chores that he used to do for Mr. Hall was make sure that the car's nice and clean and neat when Mr. Hall had to go anywhere or whatever. And then it led up to Graeme getting a job at the car wash. And the funny thing was that the car wash's name was called Miracle Car Wash. and not thinking that at the time maybe that it was a miracle. Maybe it was a miracle, you know. It's God's promises and our God sent things happen at never in our time, but obviously only in God's time. And Mr. Hall used to tell me, "Hey, watch that boy. There's something about him," and Mr. Hall knows this addiction game pretty well, the best that I know of. And I've been to one or two counselors, as I say, one or two correctional facilities, one or two institutions, madhouses, detox facilities, rehabs, and a couple of places. And that's why I say Graeme remained the inspiration in you know, if he could get it right, and was getting it right, that we and me somehow can as well. So Graeme worked at this Miracle Car Wash, and that's where it comes in that if you're willing to go to any lengths, or if you want what we got and you're willing to go to any lengths to get it, which is ultimately peace, sobriety, and all the rewards of recovery that go along with it. Because everything after recovery, or more than recovery, is a It's I always notice in myself when I'm complaining about something or having an issue with something, I turn it around into a blessing because a while ago I didn't have those things to complain about because I was drunk, drugged, and deurmekaar. And you know, winter came. Graeme kept his job at Miracle Car Wash. We called his bluff, you know, and he was willing to go the extra mile and things like that. Started riding on a bicycle from the farm to his job. Yeah, he was getting 80 rand a day. But however, it wasn't to him at the time. It wasn't about the money. It was about the experience, the routine, about the getting out of the social isolation, about removing the stigma. It was about learning work, coming home and doing the evening meeting. It was all about recovery. And we even had Graeme reading and writing out of the big book daily, the famous chapter 5, page 58, as a lot of the recovering addicts and alcoholics would know. And eventually Graeme was just carrying on and doing his thing. The rainy days came. He even washed cars sometimes in the rain, and didn't stop. And possibly it was through Graeme's experience and strength, even though he's physically younger than me, that I learned that I had a listening problem, possibly because I seen what him listening to Mr. Hall done for him, and that's what maybe helped me to change my mind a little bit. And it started working for me, and that's how we carry the message to each other, through actions. It started working for me, and that's how we learn from each other. And so Graeme carried on, and he done his thing for $80 a day, and we also called his bluff at a time and said that he must start taking responsibility for himself and his recovery, and he must start paying for himself to be here and all of that whilst he was still on the program. And he was more than willing to do so because he was taught from the best, and he was taught in a way that he needs to guard his recovery. His recovery has to come first all the time. And I think everybody that he has a relationship with, friend-wise and girlfriend-wise, etc., understands that, and family-wise and the whole trip. And the way that Graeme was taught was to tell it like it is. I know he's very humble. But I think it's an underlying humble from pushing a trolley around and scratching in bins. And I don't want to tell his story because it can get quite emotional or touching for me sometimes if I look at him now. And then he got an apprenticeship, or Mr. Hall got him an apprenticeship as a panel beater, where he done a 3-year apprenticeship. He stayed on here, and he was there for 4 years and qualified completely from there. And now he has his own panel shop. He has all his own tools and things like that. I mean, from coming in through the doors here, and we always say that these opportunities are open to everybody. And I always try and explain to the guys that it doesn't matter if you're sweeping the mall or managing the mall. It's a start to something different that you didn't have before. It's a start to a new way of life that it's just a way of life that you need to get used to. Because even some of the people that are watching are witness to me not being able to get through a day's work without drugs. So it can never be, it has to be about the recovery all the time. And you know, watching Graeme coming from where he's came, and I remember the day booking him and his brother in. Yeah, it's actually quite hectic. It's almost, I wouldn't say sad, but it's a bit of a lump in the throat, and things to see that it is possible. And even in my time when I was a little bit on the downfall, it would stay in the back of my mind, like, hey, how's that out getting it right, eh? And like I said, that's when I realized that maybe I had a listening problem. Because everybody says that Graeme's not humble and he's arrogant. But if he was as arrogant as what everybody says he was, arrogant people don't listen to other people. Arrogant people don't ask other people for help or which way they should do it or how they should do it. That's why we call him Graeme the Great. He's asked so many questions, probably out of humility, that he has all the answers. Or most of them. GoogleGraeme.com. So, the opportunities that were available to him, many others have also come through the doors and been in similar situations, come from the streets and then they're working for logistics companies, come from places where their parents drop them off and say that I want nothing to ever do with you ever again, or they say that you're a hopeless case, or whatever the case might be. We've seen them come from all different walks of life, and we've seen over here addiction is the greatest equalizer. It doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what language you speak, it doesn't matter how much your mother earns or how much your father left you, or it doesn't matter the size of your plot or which area you come from, black, white, English, brown, yellow, it doesn't care. And that's what we do in our meetings. Instead of comparing and trying to be better than each other nowadays, we try and identify our problems and most of the time Mr. Hall has the answers because he has the experience and has faced something similar and has had sponsors like he said, and has sponsors like he said that has carried the message team, that still carries the message team, and that's how we pass it on. And that's why we do these meetings, so that it can be passed on and shared among everybody else. It could just reach and that was in Graeme's situation that he was in 5 years ago. And nowadays it's a lot easier than going to a tiki box or trying to walk to a meeting. Nowadays we can just go to RAEL Live recovery stories or whatever meetings it is that's online. And it could be popping up on somebody's wall or whatever the case might be. And maybe it saves a life, eh? Two of the guys that came off the streets, that was at wit's end. And I say off the streets because that's usually the lowest points that a human being can hit. Is reaching a animal level, or what they call animal level, living like an animal. Two of the guys that come from the streets happen to see something that was shared. The one guy's mom showed him a addiction talk of when Mr. Hall let one of the guys share, and another one was still lucky enough to have his phone and charge it and things at the petrol stations and stuff. So that's how we carry the message, eh? And Graeme's got a hectic message. So before I close, I'm not sure if Mr. Hall wants to add anything. Do you want to add anything, Mr. Hall? Mr. Hall said that he says that he said enough for today. Tomorrow is another day. That we hope that we'll see you all again, sharing our talks and shares and things like that. Because all we're trying to do is help the next person to find what we've got. So I'm going to say good evening for this evening. And I hope everybody's well. I know there's some bad weather in the mother. And I also know that not everybody's situation is the same, but I beg of everybody to share our videos. It might just reach somebody in need. Thank you all for watching and supporting us, and I hope that we can help and support, and that you guys can learn something from us as well, especially the parents. Education is key. Thank you all.